Hello traders, this is Mike with FXBattleground.com. I want to go over a Euro US dollar trade that presented itself on Friday after Thanksgiving. This off a 15-minute chart, which normally we don't trade down that low on those lower time frames. But this is a good example of how even a 15-minute chart can be entered by using data and knowing what's going on the higher time frames all the way up to the weekly. So let's switch up to the weekly and take a look. Here's the weekly chart. We fell from this area a couple weeks ago. We fell from here. Then early this week, Sunday and Monday, which we talked about a lot, we rolled from this area, which on the daily chart was just under the 20 MA. We came down to test the weekly rising 20 MA, and this is an area where we said, let's wait and see what happens. Because we also have an uptrending trend line in confluence with this 20 MA. So we're holding here. We're just we scaled out of all our profits and are holding to see what happens. Let's move down to the daily. You can see the trend line that comes up, and also this is an area of what we call minor support. It's a battleground area. There was a battle fought here, and there was support here. Now it's going to come back to this area. It's going to remember this battleground. It's going to sit here and consolidate as it comes in this area. And it's exactly what we expected after a strong move. Let's move down to the 4-hour chart. So here's the big move down to the battleground area. Here's the consolidation, the up and down, for over a day. And so we're going to wait and see what happens. And as we consolidate sideways, this takes out a lot of the supply of the market. Everyone gets their chance in this area to buy and sell and decide what they want to do with their positions. You could pick up a lot of buyers in this area, and you could also pick up a lot of people that are still stuck from these areas up here, hoping that somehow or another it gets back up and they can get break even. And as this declining 20 MA catches up in the 4-hour chart, we start to see a breakdown. Let's move down to the hourly chart. Here's the consolidation area. It tries to break through this area. This is a strong area. It holds 1, 2, 3 times. Tries to rally 1, 2, 3 times. And it can't get back above this major breakdown. So we're consolidating in the lower third of this major breakdown, which means there's not a lot of power, especially this long consolidation. After this, in a major breakdown, you should expect that we break lower. You should definitely not try to play higher until you're proven wrong. But you can't break it. You can't play it until this area breaks. And so once it breaks, though, then we need to look for a retracement. And that's what we're going to look for on the 15-minute chart. When we go down to the 15, it starts to become clear. This is the green line. This is the horizontal line that we were looking at all the way up on the daily chart and the weekly chart. This is an area we had identified. As we fell to it on the 15-minute chart, we consolidated sideways along this battleground area. We were used as support. Consolidation sideways, sideways, sideways. Not for us to play. We stand back and we wait. Now we break through. We got to close. A little rally back. This is another close, another close, another close. And now we're well below. We know we're closed below. This is capitulation below this area. Anyone who got short on the break here, there's going to be some short covering down here. They know they can't stay in forever. They're going to take these pips and run. And when this short covering rally comes back up into our area, this is where we want us to sit and look. And so we see this green candle come up, challenges the 20, which has been holding price all in this area. Very consistent. And then the breakdown, the acceleration, the short covering rally. This is our spot, folks. We stand here and we look. We need confirmation, though. I would like to see this entire bar erased onto the downside. And so what we look for is you have these inside bars, one inside bar, two inside bars. This shows us that there is a slowdown in momentum to the upside. These bars mean that there's a pausing. The momentum is slowing down. This inside bar, we're still not in. At least in our plan. When this green bar breaks, this is the entry, the stop above, several pips, and we're holding. And so this trade is at least 1 hour up. You can see how it also again rallied back to the previous support and rolled back to the previous support area and rolled. So if this plays out as expected, we're already safe on this trade. But what we would really hope that's going to happen now, and this is what trading is you get in high probability areas and then you just see what happens. But you don't want to get out too early, because if this trend line has now broken and if this area has now broken, there's a good way to fall. That means the weekly is going to break. The 20 MA on the weekly is going to break. And this area here is just clean air all the way down to here. Down to this area is where we can look to target. And this is obviously a huge target. So you're very happy to be in on the first break of this trend line. And this is a 15-minute entry that gets you into possibly a 400, 500 pip move. So you're in here, you're safe down here, and you're just holding. And if you break even here, fine. There will be other entries. There will be other places to go. But this is what we talk about when we talk about using higher time frames as an analytical time frame. And then we drill down as far as we need to go to find the entry, as far as is logical. You don't want to go too far. You don't want to try to enter on a 5-minute chart. There's a lot of noise in there, but in the correct areas, a 15-minute chart even can be used as an entry to find a high probability entry to a huge trade. This is not a recommendation to trade. Trade according to your plan. You can learn a lot by watching these videos. Also, our SEAL training course is available to you. This is Mike with FXBattleground.com.